What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are making a ripple effect on top of a bowl, which will serve as a jewelry holder. Today I'm using a 19.5 inch by 19.5 inch piece of mahogany. It's 0.8 inches thick. So jumping right into it, we'll click on new model, 19.5, 19.5, click on OK. Go ahead and bring up our workpiece. As you can see at the bottom left there, I've already got this program running. I'm just going to go ahead and recreate it for you guys. So you can see my workflow here. We're going to be using three tools: the Create Circles tool, Smoothing tool, and Create Triangle Mesh tool. So go ahead and click on Create Circle. We're going to go over here to Diameter. I'm going to make a 9-inch circle right here, and you'll see it pops up right here in the bottom left. Click on Create. I'm going to go ahead and center this. Okay, so what we need to do next is create a series of vectors that we can manipulate using the Shape Editor tool. The Shape Editor tool requires all of the vectors that you use to be closed. So if you encounter any errors with that, sure you're using Vector Doctor up here. That's a little bit more advanced. We can get into that if we encounter the error. Go ahead and use your Offset Vectors tool. I'm going to plug in a distance about 0.55 inches. We're going to go inwards and to the left and radius. Click on Offset. Make sure you have your vector selected. Offset. I'm just going to keep on clicking that until I get to the center. Go. All right, great. So we'll go ahead and close out of Offset Vectors. I will begin to manipulate this into a 3D image. I can move this by holding the middle mouse button down and just rotating the mouse. So we'll go ahead and click on Shape Editor up here. I'm going to give it a round profile. And for the middle, I want it to pop up out towards the top. So this looks pretty good right here. 45-degree angle. That looks good for what I want it to do. I do want to have a slight cap on the top, so I want the top to be flat. So we'll go ahead and limit to height. I'll type in 0.15 here. What that does is that provides a small flat surface on the top. All right, now I'm going to use the same tool, Shape Editor tool here. We'll close out of that real quick. Select the next. Oh, I gotta go back. I need to click Apply. Make sure you click Apply before you click out of the tool. All right, now we'll close it out. Okay, that's what I want there. Go ahead and select the next vector, and then the vector on the inside of the circle. This is going to allow me to manipulate inside of these two vectors right here. All right, so go ahead and click back into your Shape Editor tool, round profile, except this time I'm going to give it a -45 angle. This is a ripple effect, so I'm not going to have that flat piece there. This is going to give me that downward momentum there shape. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate between these vectors and get the shape in like an actual ripple. So I'll go ahead and select my next two vectors. And this is going to be a +45 on Apply. Next two vectors will be a -45. Apply. One will be a +45. Apply. And so on and so forth. This has given us a pretty cool ripple looking pattern here. Now, as you look at your shape here, you'll see that there's some roughness going on up here. You can use your smoothing tool to ensure you don't have any roughness for your CNC machine. You can see I can smooth that out using that right. This doesn't look too bad. I just like to go over the vectors and make sure that everything looks smooth. All right. So if you're using this as a bowl or a dish or anything like that, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you have an edge that the CNC cuts out that you can still work with. If you let the CNC cut this out on this edge right here, it's going to be a sharp, jagged edge. So what I like to do is take the offset vector tool again. We'll go outwards to the right. I'll have a 1/4 inch edge there that I can cut out, and I can manipulate that until I have the product exactly where I want it. Go ahead and click on that, and Another thing that you can do is drop a texture on this. So I like to use the weave texture here. And when you're using this, click on preview. Make sure that you have the vectors, 2 vectors selected that you want this texture to actually go on. The preview tool, it's not going to land this texture right here exactly. It's actually going to put it in between the 2 vectors that you have selected. And to do that, you're just going to click on selected vector. All right, so the size, I will make this 0.15. Z height, that's obviously way too high. We're going to go 0.1 for this application. And then go ahead and click on apply. And that texture has now been applied to your selected vector. So you can make a pretty nice dish using this tool right here. There's just one last thing that you need to do before you can actually use it. And so the next thing we are going to do is create a triangle mesh. Because you have 3D shaping going on beneath the surface of the actual model, you need to use an open mesh. That will make sure that both the top and the bottom are fully included in your 3D model. Go ahead and click on create. And there you have it. You have a 3D mesh. The only thing left to do with this is you're going to go and click on save and save this file to wherever you want. I have Ripple Bowl set up right here. So I'll just call this whatever I want and then save that. So with that 3D mesh that you created and you saved, you can actually go ahead and open up a whole new model. Click on relief. We're going to import 3D model. Here is the file that I just saved. And as you can see, it has my image here that I created. Go ahead and modify your Z to 0 so that way you can see the full image. You can see the ripple effect there that we created along with that textured pattern. Before I were to actually cut this out, I would probably lower this texture down just a little bit more. So that's it. You can use this method to create and manipulate vectors into 3D images, however you see fit. If you found this information useful, feel free to like and subscribe. I always like to hear from my subscribers, so drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's a better way to do it. And for the project that I've got going in the bottom left, I'll make sure to post the completed product to my shorts, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks.